We live? Is it on? I don't know if it's working. It says it's live. Okay, I hope that this is going and that this is just... Okay, hello. A different way of doing things, but we'll all get through this together, and I hope this is recording. It says it is, but I can't. It's not going on the main page yet. There it goes. Okay. All right. Okay, now I'm hearing myself and I can't hear myself, and I do this at the same time. Okay. So now I have to get into the control room and get going with that. Go on my events, live control room. There we go. Okay, now I can see all of the things. I apologize in advance if things get a little wonky because my internet connection has not been good lately, and that's going to... There's nobody in here, but that's okay because I can just talk about the episode and then we'll see what happens after that. So, yes. Okay. Oh, yeah, somebody just commented for the live stream. Can I please discuss CS cuteness and the importance of it? Yeah, trust me, I'm going to get there. Just read your comment on the stream. Definitely, because oh my gosh, I'm still dead inside from feels because I... Okay. We'll start at the beginning. Let's start at the beginning. I was on the special more than I thought that I was going to be honest. To be perfectly honest, I was not expecting there to be so much of me. Is it just my icon or is it my face? Oh my gosh, why I need to see all of the things and but okay, we're gonna mute that. Yeah, so I was on the special way more than I thought that I was going to be, and I'm going to be... Okay, I see my background in there. Okay. Yeah, gesticulations are happening. I was way more in the special than I thought that I was going to be, and they used really good quotes. I was very happy with what was chosen. When the question that was asked initially was, what is can you remember my questions? I have to find them. Yeah, let me go find my script because I have all the questions in the script. Maybe. No, am I not? What's why? Oh, where is it? And it was asking as we were playing a new place every single week. Oh, they just asked like, what is it about Once Time you love so much? What keeps you watching? That was the original question. And then I had this big thing about how I loved the fact that Hope was the center of the oh, do I watch the show alone or with friends? And actually, the funny thing is, the girl who was they edited right before me, who was in there, Natasha, I think her name was. She like her first part of the answer was like exactly the same as my first part of my answer. So just the whole like I watch alone most of the time, and then I mostly live blog and I talk to everybody else online while we're doing it. So it feels like I'm not actually watching alone. And then they just asked like who my favorite character was, and I had this huge long thing about why Emma was my favorite character. So yeah, they put way more in there than I thought they were going to, which was really great. Especially 2 parts for Emma. Like I was like, wait, I'm on, what do you mean I'm on again? Like I thought it was just one and done. Yeah, so there was that. But I really liked the special. Everybody who was chosen to be on, everybody did really good. It was a really cool thing to be able to participate in that, and that everybody could do. Everybody did a really good job. All the answers are really great. And then it was just really fun to see them doing like fan questions, just answering fan questions, because that's something that I think we all wish we could do more often, would just be to talk to the actors and have questions to answer them. And like, you know, people get to do that at Q&As at conventions and stuff, but that's not something that many people get to do, really. It's a very rare opportunity for a lot of people. So I'm going to go in here and do the comments now. So that's all I really had to say about the special. I thought it was really well done. It was really great. So fantastic opportunity. And like, I got all these text messages and everything on Tumblr like all day, because the special aired in Canada last night. So I'm at my best friend's wedding. I was the maid of honor at my best friend's wedding last night. And I get all, like, my phone starts blowing up because I have alerts if I get messages. And I was just like, what is happening? I'm trying to make a toast. And I got on after a little, like, I let it go. I had other things to do, other duties to attend to. And then I got on and it was like, we was on in Canada. You were great. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know. I didn't know it was happening like that. And thank you to everybody who said that I was really good, but they didn't tell me what parts that I used, because I would have kind of been upset if I was spoiled on that. So thank you for that. It was nice to go in completely unspoiled, just knowing that I was there. So yeah, I apologize in advance if things get a little bit loud. I don't know where the little sock thing that goes over my microphone is, so I don't have, if I breathe too much or whatever, I apologize. I was looking all over the place for it. I swear it was in one spot and I have no idea what happened to it. I have water because, again, wedding, lots of talking and screaming over the music last night, so my throat's a little bit parched. Oh. So, okay, I'm going to go into comments. Hi, Sarah. Okay, glad you guys can hear me. Hi, Jamie Dreams 2. Does anyone think they're going to kill Emma BF being they killed the last one? She said to, I don't understand your question. So anyone think they're going to kill Emma BF being they killed the last one? She said said it to right before one of them went through the portal. Oh, kill Emma's boyfriend. No, they're not going to kill Hook, because the entire last season was all about showing how Hook was a survivor and how we don't have to worry about Hook dying. Like every single one of Emma's other boyfriends, like they had a crucial conversation about that, and then they spent the rest of the season proving it. So no, Hook's not going to die. That's like not part of the equation. How did I get on the special? I talked about this in a previous video. I was people who worked on the special, people at Hodder Productions. They have watched these videos, my other YouTube videos, and they somebody on the production team contacted me, and I did my homework and I researched to make sure that the company was legit. And once I realized that they were, I had a freak out moment, and then I said, yeah, duh, I'm going to do this. And then we went through the questions, and other things happened, and then I was just like this past Thursday, they said like, hey, you're in for sure. Like I knew the first cut, I knew I was still in it, and then like as they continued to chop things down, I was still in it. Okay, the dagger is part of Excalibur. Okay, OMG, like my reaction when he pulled. Okay, first off, Lancelot. Like we're just gonna go episode like boom. Like the one guy, Nameless Knight #1, because I don't remember his name, he just vanishes. He gets crumbled into dust because he's not supposed to pull Excalibur out of the stone. Then Lancelot's just like, all right, it's your turn. Like, thanks, Lance. Like, thank you so much. That's a great start. So that's funny. And then like, yeah, so the tip of the dagger is Excalibur. It was a really cool reveal how they did that. Like once I like, he pulled it out and I saw there was a weird design, and then it kind of abruptly ended, and I was like, wait a second, they're not going with the dagger as part of Excalibur, right? Because that's so crazy. Like, what? You're not gonna what? And then they did it. Like the reveal of that, where they they panned across the sword and then it faded into the dagger on the ground. That was the really awesome reveal. So, you know, great. That was cool for the people who didn't pick up on it 3 seconds before it happened. So cool one with that. So, oh my God, yeah, the dagger being part of Excalibur. I am so interested in finding out how and why and all of the answers to that, because that's actually kind of really cool if you think about it, because Excalibur is this huge, crazy weapon. Not a weapon. Well, yeah, it is a weapon. But it's like this magical item, so of course they're gonna have a magical, like, to tether the extreme darkness to it. Like, yeah, we need this powerfully magical artifact. Let's go with that, to do that. So I thought that was a really awesome idea. Favorite and least favorite part of the episode. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the entire last like 10 minutes of the episode when Killian had to be like, okay, so I know it's your choice whether you're gonna be good or evil, but maybe I would like you to not be evil, so take that into consideration. And then like when she gave in and then she just collapsed in on him. And okay, point of contention or point of mentioning, I don't know if it's point of contention or not, to mention just the dark one, the voice in her, she hugged Henry and when she hugged Killian. So that's a big clue that there's some true love happening there. Just saying, that's a bit of a visual cue, things put together. So that was my favorite part. And then like when they're like leading the procession into Camelot, and they're like clinging to each other and holding hands and being really cute. Because all I really want is physical affection and cuddles, because that's what gets my goat going or something. I don't know. Least favorite part of the episode, Zelina, everything was Zelina. Props for how crazy she is, because she just chopped her own hand off to get that bracelet off, aka, or also like, hey, thanks Killian for just carrying around a butcher's knife in your pocket. Like, great, thanks, awesome. So that, and yeah, just like the whole, like, everything was Selena, because I don't like her. So that's my least favorite part. I know it's out of order, but can we talk about how fabulous they are? Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, so I am staying as far away from behind the scene pics as I possibly can. If I see anything, it's because it's on the official Once ABC Instagram, like how Ginny has been doing the countdown. And I'll like, that stuff's fine because it's like officially sanctioned things. The PAP photos, I hate PAP photos. I hate fan photos because, like, I know security does their best on set to like hide, to make sure that people don't film things or take pictures of things they're not supposed to. But like, I hate when they can't do everything. And I feel like it's really disrespectful to people who can't be on set. Like, I don't mind people going on set and seeing it, but I just don't like when it's like 2 months beforehand and like, oh, here's stuff from episode 5 and it's August. And I'm like, but why? Like, really, why? I was keeps jumping around. But yeah, so I've seen some pictures of like that Ginny and that Jen have posted on Instagram, and like, oh my gosh, like I bow down to the costuming department as always, because they're so like fabulous, amazing. I love it. That color red looks great on Regina. Her complexion, her hair, and everything. Lana's everything. Let's just say she is a gorgeous woman. Let's just put that out there. And the red was great. And Hook's new piratey outfit. I keep switching between Hook and Killian, but it just kind of like depends on what's faster for me to say. And it's usually going to be Hook. His new fangled piratey outfit-ish. Like everything is. I really love it. Okay. I literally stood up shouting as soon as he pulled out of the rock. Yes. Mother was giving weird, concerned looks. They're not allowed to freak me out that early in episode. I know. Like, you can't just like say, oh, by BT dubs, the dagger is also part of Excalibur. Like, that's 5 minutes into the episode. Really? Come on. Speaking of early in the episode, teeny tiny little Emma. Don't do this to my heart. Like, just don't. And Merlin was the guy who plays Merlin. It was the guy, the usher, who was telling her not to pull the sword out, which was, I guess, is a thinly veiled reference to don't take the dagger and become the Dark One. So, we'll see how that works out. But yeah, my mom was the one who was like, oh my God, she could actually be Jennifer Morrison's like younger self. And I was like, yeah, the once casting department knows what they know what they're doing, and it's amazing. Wondering if Merlin wasn't missing and more in Self and post Exile. I Yeah, I mean, that might be a good thought. Sorcerer watches Emma grew up, Apprentice watches Lily. That's an interesting thought. I haven't given a lot of thought to Merlin right now, just because I don't know. Like, I really don't. I don't play the speculation game too much. Like I have my thoughts like as we go along, but like beforehand I try not to think about it too much, because sometimes I will build it up into like this great, I'm like, this will be amazing, and then it's like, oh, that's not how that happened. Well, now I'm disappointed. I have to figure out how to not do that first, and then I can play the speculation game. Yeah, I will be very interested to see how Merlin was handled, because again, that's a really good idea if he's in like self-imposed exile, but then why would he be in self-imposed exile? So I don't know. Good thoughts. Good idea. Um, why not? I want to. Yeah, Hook's not going to die. It's not going to happen. Just yeah, not. It's not. They've literally spent the entire last season saying Hook's not going to die. So it's just not going to happen. Doesn't matter what a single person wants. That's not what the writers and the creators of the show are doing. No, I don't like Zelina. I have hated Zelina from the get-go. I just like Bex does a really good job of portraying her in a way that makes me hate her, and like working with the material. Bex is a fabulous actress. So I have nothing against her. It's just the character drives me insane. She's like on Umbridge levels of crazy, and like just she has this way of being like just she just thinks she's right all the time, and it drives me crazy when people are like that. I just don't like it. Yeah. So I just can't really explain it. I really don't like Selena, which is why when she was like, well, I'm going to use this wand to go back to Oz and it'll be me and my child. And like, first off, like she's she's acting like like this is really weird. So like when I was a kid, my mom gave me this book to like explain how, pregnancy happens and all like puberty and whatnot. And like part of the book was dedicated to like teen pregnancy, and like, sometimes girls want babies because they feel like nobody loves them, and like they'll just think that this baby will love just me. And like I feel like that's how Zelina is, and she's not quite understanding that there's more to having a baby than just here is a thing that will love me. Like I get where she's coming from with that, but I'm just like, you're not handling this like a grown-up should. So when she was like, I'm gonna go back to Oz, I'm like, good, leave, goodbye. Please go back to Oz. I don't like you. So I don't know what they're gonna do with her. If they manage to turn things around and make me like her, I will be like beyond pleased, because I don't want to dislike her. I want to like everybody. I, I just don't like her. So if they do something to make me like her, thank you, because I don't like disliking people. Yeah. What do you have an early theory on what triggers Emma's full transformation into the Dark Swan? I don't know. I really don't know, because I tried to think about that while I was setting up my computer and everything in here, while I was getting my water, but like I don't know what triggers it, because again, like excuse me, like I have seen some pictures. I try not to, but people don't tag spoilers on Tumblr, so I have seen some things and I'm just like, maybe like I'm trying to think there, Emma has her key points where like she's very protective over Killian and Henry, like those, like JMO did a live Twitter thing too, and she like said to Van's question that like evil Emma's weaknesses are Henry and Killian, so like we have that to play with. But she like specifically glared at him right before she turned around. It was like, what you did to me. And then she just left, and I was like, well, couldn't she just take him and be like, you're gonna be my evil slave or whatever? Like, no, I don't want that to happen, because that's all kinds of bad implications. The things that I have been mad at Regina about, I don't want to then become mad at Emma about and wait 3 seasons for that to be redeemed, like I have with Regina, and now she's finally getting over her things. But I don't know. Like, I really like, Emma has such very touchy buttons that can be pushed. So basically, if you're really just making her if you threaten people that she cares about, like, so I'm thinking that somebody has to threaten Killian or Henry. But again, Killian's one of the people that she kind of glared at before she left, so I don't know. And then like her family did something, like I don't know. I really don't know. I guess I have to think a little bit more about that. So, um, oh, the bell jar with the rose in it. I know. Like my feels have been very cool, like chill about Rumbell. I do love Rumbell. I really do. If they could get it to work, I'm fully on board with it. I have been very unhappy with the handling of it, just because like it just comes across very badly. But Shady Blue giving her this rose, I was like, okay, if you could maybe use this as part of redemption and coming back, I will be very on board with it, because I do love the potential of Rumbell. Please do that. That gave me a lot of feels too. How inconvenient of Blue to give Belle a giant ass jar. I think there was a little bit of a glow that maybe I thought was supposed to symbolize her like shrinking it, because it wasn't like that big. It's definitely inconvenient. But it's not like she's carrying, it's just like strap it to her back or anything. So it's not like that big, but it is definitely a bit of an inconvenience. So I thought there was a little bit of magic that made it look like it was shrinking, like she could carry it in her pocket or something, or like in her handbag, because, we're just taking all the accessories with us in Granny's flying tornado machine diner. Yeah. Except Sneezy, apparently. Yeah, well, you know how that goes. But yes. So I did love the inside joke of Leroy running in to scream about the tornado. I was like, oh my gosh, Leroy, can we XOXO gossip grumpy? But yeah, as soon as they came in and they were like, no, we're staying, I'm like, dwarves are going on an adventure. I'm so happy. I missed having the dwarves around doing little dwarvy things. Except for, I think, Sneezy and then maybe Dopey was also in the sheriff's car wearing Emma's jacket and beanie. Like, really, Sneezy? You're just stealing Emma's clothes. Like, that's a good idea to have. No, just. But yeah, other than that, like the 5 dwarves that did go, I was just like, there was a lot of happy. Everybody that I text during the show was getting the dwarves are going to the adventure. So I was very excited about that. Brain body switch episode with Belle and Mother Superior. I don't know, because we've kind of done, like, I feel like that would just be like a Freaky Friday kind of thing, I guess, is what you're going for. I haven't seen the Descendants movie. I thought I wanted to see it when it first was announced, because I thought it was like this animated thing. But then it turned out to be live action. I just haven't gotten around to seeing it yet. But I did think that it looked intriguing. But yeah, that's kind of like a Freaky Friday thing. With Belle and the Blue Fairy. I don't know how that would go. Like, if you think that the Blue Fairy would stay with Rumple, so that would be Belle's mind, but Blue being a shady hoe. Like, so if we want to go that route, then fine. Like, prove the fact that she is the ultimate evil of this entire show. I'm all for that. Yeah, poor Sneezy. Though, maybe so apparently there's one of the dwarves, the guys who play the dwarves, one of them tweeted something that made a lot of people mad at Jennifer. I don't remember what exactly this was, but he tweeted something and then it came back on her for last season. Killian made a joke about which one of the dwarves does she despise. So I think Sneezy might be the dwarf that Emma just doesn't like in general. And I think that's the rumor anyway. I know I'm spreading rumors, and that's a bad thing. I just know that was something that was going around as an explanation for why Emma didn't like one of the dwarves. So if that's the case, then, that's why she froze just Sneezy, which, I mean, he stole her jacket. Come on, it's a badass jacket. How many red leather jackets can you find for under $200? And Emma has been not having a lot of money all her life. I'm pretty sure I would turn his ass to stone too. I'm trying not to swear because I know this is live. I might do a little bit of cursing, but I'm gonna not go the full bad 7. Beauty and the Beast in joke where Belle is introduced to the Harry Potter series and someone saying I don't get that reference. Sorry. I just think for Zelina and Regina to make up, like Zelina's got a lot to work on before she because really like all of this is on her. She's the one that started it. She's the one that's continuing to antagonize everything. Yeah, Regina needs to apologize too, but like a lot of this isn't her fault. Like most of what Zelina's issues are, it's not her issue. It's not her fault of why Zelina is jealous and envious of everything. So like this is all on Zelina, and I hate her. She blames other people for her problems when it's all her fault. Oh my gosh. Okay, everybody losing their memories again. Can I just be on the floor sobbing with anger and like this has been what, once a season now? Where we've lost some memories. No, I don't think there was any memory loss No, there was memory loss in season 2 because Belle became Lacey. But I don't think that's what you mean. But yeah, like every season we have some memory loss. And I know the whole thing of if it's not broke, don't fix it. However, like, can we not? Like, just once, can we not? Like, at once, can we not? Also, once in one of the seasons of the show, can we not? Like I'm okay with it because they're gonna do what they did with I just saw an interview and I don't remember what they said with 3B where they're gonna with 3B where they're gonna like do the concurrent like Emma's evil in Main Street and regular Storybrooke and then like how she got evil beforehand. They're gonna do that again with this half of the season, but I would like them to have not gone that route personally, but that's just me. Not too happy about it. Babysitter Granny. Yeah, I think that's kind of why Granny also came along, is so she could act as babysitter, because Baby Neil did come on the adventure in the tornado of Granny's diner. Which, oh my god, when that happened, I was like, okay, so many behind the scenes pictures suddenly make sense. Because I saw something, a set picture of Granny's diner in the woods, and I was like, wait a second. Time out. Hang on. What is happening? And I had this whole theory because it's feel like from what everybody has, again, I try to stay away from it. People don't tag their freaking spoilers. I've had this idea that like maybe because they fixed the barrier between worlds, but then they broke it again, and then like they've kind of crossed around so many times with various portals that like just the barriers of time and space have been melting, and like Camelot and Storybrooke have been merging together, and that was like my idea that I had going on. So I'm really glad that that's not happening, because that would be a pain in the butt to clean up. So I'm happy that that's not the case, but at the same time I'm like, well, that would have been an interesting thing to deal with, but at the same time happy that that's not happening. Yeah, so Roland and Baby Neil and Camelot. No, Babysitter Belle. I think we're gonna have Babysitter Granny. I like that. Granny can teach them how to use the crossbow. She can't do that with the baby because he's only a baby, but she can do it with Roland. I don't think Robin's gonna mind that much. Regina might mind, but I don't think Robin will. Oh, actress who played Mother Superior at once played Belle in Descendants. Yeah, I didn't know that because I again didn't see it, so might be fast forwarding when Meredith said her dad died. I know that's sad, but I guess like she needed something. And it's, what was it, like the 13th century Scotland, maybe 11th century, so that happens at his age. But she's queen now, which makes me wonder, like, if her mom died too, or if if her mom, it was a political alliance, so she like had royal birthright in her own right. That was oddly phrased. Sorry about that. So I don't know, but like now Meredith's queen, which who's watching her land? Who's watching over her section of Scotland? while she's off cavorting with the wisps while searching for her brothers? That's my question. um, Yeah, and the politics of Queen Regent and not just a princess. Yes, I'm glad that they're like kind of, that was a fun little dig. When Emma was just like, it's not just in your land. Like that's thanks for that dig. As we're heading into United States presidential election 2016. Oh my God, can we stop with the presidential election already? It is 400 days beforehand. I don't want to think about this right now. Yeah, Queen or Queen Con. Yeah, I understood what you're saying, Olivia. Um, da, 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 I did know that Ruby was coming back. That's an officially sanctioned press release, so I pay attention to that, or I allow myself to pay attention to that, whatever you want to think of that. So yeah, I didn't know about Ruby coming back, and I'm very excited. I love Ruby. I kind of love this idea of what we've created fanon for Ruby, like the fic writers, what we've done with her. I really love the layers that we've given her, because we haven't seen we've seen a bunch of her, but we haven't seen so much that we have all this layered detail to who she is as a person and how she behaves all the time. So I really love the fanon idea of Ruby, but I'm very interested to see how they bring her back and why and all that. Like, how are they going to explain that she was gone for everything? But I'm sad that Megan O'Reilly's, like, her show that she was on is not on anymore, because, when a show is canceled, then you get fired. So that sucks. And as somebody who has had and lost more jobs than most actors have had in the last 4 years, I understand. I sympathize with that, and it sucks a lot. So I get that, and I'm very excited that she's back, though, because I do love Ruby. And I'm excited that Mulan is back too. It was actually funny. I was at Sephora a couple weeks ago, getting some makeup for the special. Actually, I had to get some new makeup because I didn't have any contouring makeup. And when I was in Sephora, there was just this advertisement with Jamie Chung, and I was like, oh, I know her. I don't actually know her, but I know of her. It was very exciting. So I'm very excited that Mulan is coming back too, and I'm intrigued to see how they're doing that. So I'm very excited about that. No, Ruby didn't come out of the. We will see her another time of this. She did not come out of the diner. That was Belle that came out of the diner. It wasn't Ruby. We'll see her later. The curse linked our world in the Enchanted Forest. Until Regina's curse, it was impossible. But after, I don't know. I think all worlds, like, they exist. Like, it's kind of like, think of a patterned quilt, and like how everything is its own square, but they're all touching each other. So I think it's like that. But then sometime when a curse happens and you cross over, then it's like there's this little, the threads start bleeding together and become one big blanket instead of a patchwork quilt. That's a really weird analogy, but in my brain it works. So we're going to go with that. Was it weird seeing yourself on TV? Oh my God, it was super weird. I was actually kind of glad that it was like really short clips, because it was really weird to see myself on TV. Like, I have before, because when I was in college, I was a journalism major, and I was in broadcast journalism specifically, and I did a couple of internships, so that involved me being on TV, both doing stuff, and then as an intern, you're kind of just like relegated to making sure the camera looks right for the reporter who's actually on camera, because because the economy sucked when I was in school, so everybody downsized. So the reporter became the reporter and the camera person, and they did all their own stuff. So having an intern was actually helpful to them, because they could run the camera for the reporter who was on set. So I would be there, and one time we went to an animal shelter and went to the kitten room. There was a whole room full of kittens, and I was playing with them, and the reporter got shot footage of me playing with the kittens, and that was part of the news package that night. So I have seen myself on TV before, but actually speaking and having a purpose, not just, oh hey, there's Amanda playing with kittens as part of B-roll. It's completely different experience, and it was very strange. It was even more strange knowing that everybody I know was watching, and everybody who watches the show was watching. So that it was very bizarre. Yeah, very, very bizarre. Did anyone else catch Rumple's dig at Mary's accent? I did. I was like, Robert Carlyle, you are the most Scottish person. Do not even start about her accent. Yeah, that was funny. But like she does, I don't know if that's her actual accent or not, or if she's like making it thicker or if it's a fake accent. So I thought that was very good. Her Scottish burr, if we're gonna go with that. Yeah, the anti-Jiminy Cricket, that's Rumple. It's actually very funny. I was kind of laughing at Rumple kind of taking the place of Emma's conscience. Like he kind of explained it as like the Dark One. It's like a teacher to try and train her into that, but like really it is kind of like he's acting kind of like her evil conscience. So yeah, so the anti-Jiminy Cricket, the evil conscience. And it was funny to me because there's once fic that I'm writing that Liam's dead in the story and he's acting as Killian's conscience. And I just thought that was super funny because I've been talking to other writers recently and we've been talking about things that we've written that have come up in canon. And we're like, oh, it's funny how often we manage to call things like, 'cause it's not that hard to call things that are happening in the show. That's why I don't like to speculate, because it's pretty easy to link things together. So I thought it was funny, and I was glad that like that's what they were kind of going, because otherwise it just like, it didn't make sense to me that suddenly Emma would just be this evil person, because we just proved last season that they completely destroyed all potential for darkness in her. So for her to suddenly like take this on, like you would think that she would just be able to fight it continuously. So having some like this voice in her head telling her, do this, do this, do this, kill her, kill her, kill her, like that makes so much more sense to me than just like, oh, she's just suddenly dead, or yeah, she's dead. No, her lightness is dead, but she's suddenly just this evil person. So I liked that touch, and also gives Robert Carlyle something to do since he's in a coma in Storybrooke right now. Just saying. Okay. Back to Captain Swan. Hook's behavior in this episode cemented the fact that Emma would be the one to save herself, rather than Hook and Snowing and Henry. Yes, that's the whole thing. Like, why I love Emma so much is that she is like strong enough to save herself. She just needs a good support base, and because she has a support base now, she has a reason to save herself. Like before, it was just like self-preservation and like hoping it was hope and self-preservation was the thing that was really driving her before she found her family. So now she has this reason to save herself. And I really like that. And I liked that they did this emphasis, like, this is your choice. You need to choose whether to be good or evil. And I feel like if we'd had a little more time, it would have gone on to like, I'm going to support you no matter what. I mean, it might suck a little bit, but like, I think Hook is the kind of person who would, like, we know that he would follow her like down a time portal. And I think that he would absolutely, like, drop of the hat if Emma was like, I'm evil now, and if you want to be with me, then you have to be evil too. Then he would be like, all right, done. Like he would have no, like, because he's in love with her. It doesn't matter if she's good or evil or not. But I think that it's really important that he emphasizes, you have your family. And she even said, like, I don't want to have anybody hurt my family. He's like, okay, well, maybe we should just take a step back and think about this for a second. And then like that gives her the moment to like breathe and like realize she has to fight against her inner demons, who is actually just Rumpelstiltskin being an evil little git. Excuse me. Yeah, so I really liked that emphasis there. And then just her like collapsing into him, just like not found. Like, I need a moment. Just give me a second. So speaking of him being an anti, what if Emma's family don't really wrong her, but he simply that's a good idea. Make her think that they don't really care. Like that's something to think about. If this twisty person inside her brain is misconstruing everything. very obscure fairy tales and thoughts about darkness and whatnot. And she's been doing, and until just mentioned that comment, 14 ml Hecker, I would like another name to call you by, because that's a lot of things to say. That's like, until you said that, I just put this together. She's been doing a lot of research into depression and mental illnesses. And this is the woman who like read 100 books or something and talked to a bunch of people who lived in the foster care system to just have this basis of idea for like how Emma should act, how she should eat, how she should respond to things, her body language. So now that you mention that, and like she's been doing all this research about depression, the scary thing about depression is that it lies all the time. And it'll tell you that even though people are doing one thing, they don't mean it. And they actually mean it this bad way. Like, it's something that I struggle with. It's something that I know a lot of my friends struggle with. It's something that I know thousands and thousands and thousands of people struggle with every single day. Depression lies, and it tells you that it colors your reality in a way that's simply untrue. So I think that since he's he's the one telling her like, okay, well, she's gonna use this wisp, and you are just gonna have to kill her, because otherwise you're never going to find any other wisp. Like, that right there, like, now that I'm like, all the pieces are connecting in my head now of like, this is totally a metaphor for depression, which goes with Rumpel's metaphor. His whole struggle with the darkness was a metaphor for addiction. So like, all of these terrible problems and diseases that people struggle with. Yeah, so I think that might be something that will happen, that whatever that Emma's family does and her friends do, whatever her loved ones do, he might just misconstrue that for her to like make her continue on in this very dark, depressive path and like completely turn against everybody. So that would be interesting to see how the healing process then works. I know that the interview that I mentioned earlier, it said that like, don't expect Emma to be cured by the mid-season finale, and I like that. I like when we have an overarching plot for the whole season. Like, last season was the search for the author. Like, we had these mini plots to do this for each half. So if this whole season is how to save Emma from the darkness, then great. Excuse me. So if we get to a point where we can do like okay, we're going to put the brakes on this and we're going to start turnaround, and then by the end of the season, she's somehow saved. Great. But the recovery process now, I'm interested to see how they would do that, if in fact that is the direction that they're going. The Sith Master and the Apprentice when it comes to the Dark Matter. Yeah, so there's only two. There is the Master and the Apprentice. There are only ever two, except when one of them dies. Like, do they, like, to go briefly off topic into Star Wars, is there just like a waiting order, like a waiting list of like, all right, well, this one's dead, so you get promoted, and then he's gonna just grab this guy and they're gonna do that? Or is there like, if the Apprentice keeps dying, like when Darth Maul died, like, did Darth Sidious just have this waiting list of like who he's gonna kidnap next into being his apprentice? Yeah. Sarah's comment, true love theme, perhaps true love breaks the curse. Well, we did have a little bit of Emma has to love herself to save herself. We did have a little bit of that in 4A, remember? Remember True Love's hand-holding with her and Elsa? So we did have a little bit of like Emma has to accept herself and love herself for that. So they might expand on that. That's a good thought. Because like I feel like, you know, they did like hugely hint at the whole like when Emma hugs Henry, who she has shared a true love's kiss with at the end of season 1. Rumpel disappeared. He wasn't there, which it took me until the second time it happened to realize that that's what it was, because I thought she was looking for Merida and she was gone, but she was looking for Rumpel and he was gone. And that confused me when it came back and like Merida was still there. So, but then it happened again when she was struggling and she like hugged on to Hook, and Rumple was gone. So I think they're really heavily hinting towards Captain Swan True Love. How that's going to play out, I don't know. Because I think, because the big issue is, we had in Skin Deep, we did have Belle kissing Rumple, and it could have been True Love's kiss working to fix him. But then you have the question of what happens to the darkness then. Because that's the whole reason why we're in this mess in the first place, is that the darkness left, and then it was just kind of causing chaos and about to suck Regina up into it, which still would have been terrifying if Regina was the Dark One, just saying. Which then that happens, and then Emma's just like, well, you're the only one who's going to actually stab me and kill me if you need to, because you're the one that, like, you can actually do that. Which then I'm like, well, that just puts us back to square one and makes your sacrifice completely dumb, because like that I was just like, okay, well, I'm just gonna, it's not gonna happen. But I think Emma was just like, well, I guess if I can't do it, then we're gonna have to go back to you doing it. I don't know. Yeah, so it still goes back to what's gonna happen to the darkness. Because again, like, it was going to be fixed with Rumpelstiltskin back in season 1 with Belle's true love kiss, but then it didn't happen because he rejected it. So if Emma and Killian share true love's kiss, which I really feel like that's going to happen this season, it's gonna happen. Got it. I have the Captain Swan the tank top on. It's gonna happen. I don't know what would happen to the darkness then, because that's the whole thing. Is it needs to go somewhere. So where's it gonna go? That's like, I don't know. So yeah, the whole breaking of the curse there also has to be an answer of where is the darkness going to go in the meantime. So that's where we're at on that. Itchy nose. Any best for this episode? Good question. I wasn't, since I should actually like have a list of that ready to go, because I'm that's my thing. I need to I'm so out of practice on everything. Okay, so the best worst idea. Okay, here's this, because I'm just looking on I have my notes written down here. So I'm just going to take a look at everything. Best worst idea. Leaving Rumpelstiltskin with the blue fairy. Like, don't leave him with the shady hoe. Don't do that. Like, bad things. I only picture bad things happening if we leave the blue fairy alone with Rumpelstiltskin, who's in a coma and doesn't have magic anymore. And she has the wand, the black fairy's wand. I just feel like bad things are going to happen. So don't leave. That's the best worst idea of all time. Best. Oh, okay. Best. Please do not leave these two in a room alone with each other, because only amazing things will happen. Would be Captain Cobra, because you have Killian just walking in and being like, "Hey, so fix this," and Henry's like, "No, I can't because I broke the pen. Bad times." And then like Killian's just like, "So you're gonna break none of the rules, or are you willing to break some of the rules?" And Henry's like, "Well, what are we gonna do?" And they're just like, "We're gonna go do a jailbreak. So like, don't tell your mom." Like, okay, best stepdad, stepson. Like, don't tell either of your moms. I'll correct my statement. Tell neither one of your moms that this is going to happen, because they'll both be really mad. So that, I just loved that. They both just shared these very devious grins, like, yeah, we're gonna go break Selena out of magic prison. It's gonna be great. Any other bests that we have? Best is Lena being crazy pants, chopping off her own hand. I have a question. I'll read your comments in a second, but I have a question to pose to you guys. So Hook put the potion on his hook, the potion to rip somebody's heart out. How long is that potion going to last? Or is that plot thread going to get dropped? Because if I were writing the story, which I would love to write it, BT dubs, if I could be a writer on the show, uh, how long is that potion going to last? Is this going to be a red herring? Or is this going to be a deus ex machina? Like, what is it going to be? What is it called? I think it's red herring. No, not red herring. Chekhov's gun. That's the word I'm looking for. Is it going to be Chekhov's gun? We have this potion on that can rip hearts out. Is it going to come back or not? That's my question for you guys. I'm very curious if it's going to be forgotten or if it's going to keep going. So, okay, gonna go back and do comments. I will be very interested about Mr. Gold this season now that his magical addiction has been taken from him cold turkey. I'll be interested to see what they do with him. I don't have any thoughts right now. I've been trying not to think of it because I've been kind of annoyed that they just kind of wiped. Like, I don't. My thought is this: I don't want it to be completely wiping the slate blank for him and he gets a free pass. I want him to struggle with everything. I want him to make amends and make apologies and follow through with them. I would like to see him struggling a little bit just with, like, he's had it for so long, this magic, and like just kind of he's gotten very lazy by just being like, oh, here's this thing from that I could have walked across the room and gotten. He also can't walk without his cane now, so there's going to be more of a limp back. I think the limp is going to come back. Yeah, so I would like to see him struggle. Past that, I just don't want it to be a free pass. Just please do not give him a free pass. Let him build up some good karma again. Excuse me. I'm gonna say excuse me every single time I take a drink because I don't know how much you can pick up on this, and I'm sorry if it's gross. I know people don't like hearing chewing and drinking noises on microphones. Podcasters get yelled at about that a lot. Hire Georgina Haig for an episode. Yes, please bring Elsa back. Please make her best friend come back. I would love that. Blue Fairy probably absorb the darkness. Yeah, don't leave Blue Fairy. That's bad. Hook asked Henry if he was going to the Woogie prisoner gag. Yeah, but Henry doesn't do the same trick twice, so we pulled the old, I'm just gonna dump this on you and cause a big mess. You know, that's like 80s sitcom level of gag of words that I can't remember because I'm trying to look at 4 things at once. Distraction. That's the word I'm looking for. I should not have forgotten the word distraction, but you know, I'm only just feeling not hungover from yesterday, so give me some time. I'm 26 years old. I'm allowed to have a hangover. Captain Cobra feels. Yes, lots of Captain Cobra feels. I would love to have more Captain Cobra feels. Sailor Moon Stars anime this and send a little piece of darkness into everybody so you can control it. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling very dumb now because I can't remember what you're talking about. Oh my gosh, why am I so dumb? Why can't I? The bracelets. Are you talking about the bracelets? Or I don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. If we want to combine Sailor Moon and Once Upon a Time, I'm okay with that. If that's what we're going for. Hook potion doesn't get dropped. I think it's a very small bottle, so I'd think that it would only be enough to take one magical hooking. I'm sorry. I'm tired. I'm doing silly things and making myself laugh. Yeah, I would like that plot there not to be dropped, and I think it's only enough for 1 heart. So if we could bring this back a little later and see what happens, I would be okay with that. Yeah, so he hasn't done it yet, so it would still be there until it is activated. So, but whose heart would he take? That's the other question. Because maybe if it's like they're trying to take Emma's heart, which I don't think that that would actually happen unless like Merlin was possessing him. Like, there's no way that Killian would be like, yeah, I'm just going to take the Dark One's heart, even though she's my girlfriend. Yeah, don't think that's going to happen. I don't know. I don't know, and I just don't want. I don't know what they would do with it, but I don't want them to drop it. I want them to use like bring it back somehow because we had this whole thing, so an entire scene dedicated to it. So we got to use it. He didn't already use the potion. Like, I think he tried, but like he still had enough that when he sprinkled it over it, like it glowed. Like there was not like just fairy dust in there to make his hook glow. So I don't know. Bye, Lee. If you're leaving, that was a couple minutes ago that you posted that, but goodbye. Okay, so let me see what else I have in my notes that I haven't talked about yet. I did kind of like my first thought when the with the magic wand that would be able to use anything that had that only somebody who could use light and dark magic could use. My first thought immediately was like, well, duh, Regina would do that then. But I did like that immediately they took that away to be like, oh, well, no. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I keep doing that. I can hear the feedback in my head. I'm so sorry. I do really like that they were just like, oh, we're just going to take this away. And then the level of sass that exists between Regina and Killian gives me life. I love it so much. And I'm glad that we got like all of that today. It was really good. I'm so happy about that. So I did like that they just gave that to her and then immediately took it away, and we have to go find somebody else because it does show how far Regina has come in her recovery from being super evil. So that was good. Still want to know why Killian was just carrying around a butcher's knife. You know, that was a good idea. Just keep that there. Lena go back to Oz, like Granny's in Camelot, Seven Dwarfs on an Adventure, keyboard smashing after the hugging and the collapsing into Killian, and he's just like holding on to her and his nose in her hair, and he's just like, okay, she's safe. I was like, I'm dying, I'm dead, I can't. And the hand holding, and I'm just not over it. Yeah, that's all I have. I did not take a whole lot of notes because I was really just focused on trying to figure out what was going on. So that's all that I have, to be honest. If anybody else has things that they would like me to talk about, please do so. Please let me know in the comments now, while I figure this out. If I could look at this. Scroll down. A preview of what's yet to come with Killian's hair. Yes, Killian's hair. So between the hair game that has been upped in this season, and just in interviews, Colin needs to put that tongue away. Just stop with the and just put your tongue away because it's ruining my life and I need you to stop. That's my feelings on it. Please, I didn't show you guys this. I had a picture on Instagram, which I think I put my Instagram in the description now. But I have a whole lot of pictures on Instagram now because I'm doing the 101 Days of Smiles that Jen is doing. And I put a lot of pictures from the wedding yesterday. So if you want to see me all dressed really nicely, then it's all on Instagram. But I posted this on Instagram earlier that I have my Captain Swan shirt on, and then I was drinking out of my hook mug earlier. And on the other side it says there's always a hook. And then this is a hand-painted hook thing. So this is now my official once drinking mug. I'm going to drink on Sunday nights my hot cocoa out of. But we were out of chocolate this week. So I drank something else today. I drank water, lots of water. Yeah. When Usagi does her purity dive of hope and love. Oh yeah, the naked purity dive, and towards Calaxia. When Astro Chaos went, didn't it get spread out? That's ringing a bell because they were like, there was the really awkward fan service angle that wasn't fan service because they had strategically placed crystals around the naughty bits, but at the same time was also just fan service basically. I think I think you're right. I think chaos was spread out, and then the implication was once again that it would continue to come back together and reform because that's what chaos does. And then somebody's going to have to battle it again in the future, and then decisions like this might happen again. I might also be mixing in my manga because I can all like once we get to like the climaxes of the arcs, it all kind of comes back together instead of the weird filler episodes. I think that might be what's happening, but it's been a while also for me. I haven't watched it, and then I'm reading Jet Wolf's live blogs of Sailor Moon Stars, and she has 4 episodes left, I think, and so I haven't gotten to that point again with rewatching along with her. So I honestly don't remember. It's been so long. So, okay, so we've been at this about an hour. That's about what I wanted to do, just an hour after show talking about what happened. And I think we covered everything because I really only made notes of things that I wanted to talk about. So if that's it, then I think that's gonna be it for me this week. I need to go to bed. Well, I need to shut everything down and then probably get ready to go to bed because I have to go to work in the morning as usual forever. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope that this will be a format that will work for everybody. It works for me, and maybe we'll see if we'll see how this works out over the next couple of weeks. But thank you guys again so much for watching, and I will see you after the episode next week. Okay, bye.